Good morning, everyone. It is Todd with Bowerly Consulting Services. I want to jump on and give you guys some advice. There's an event that happened to me several years ago that kind of changed my perception about what impact I can have on the world and whose job it is. If you have ever had a situation that you're frustrated with and you're saying to yourself, boy, somebody should do something about that. Guess what? You are somebody. I am somebody. Let me tell you how this all started. Several years ago, I was working at the Department of Workforce Services here in Utah. And I was working on the second floor of a building. And we had an open lobby, and I could hear all the sounds from the lobby coming into my classroom. And there'd be a lot of times where parents would come, single parents would come to a meeting, come to drop off some information. They bring their kids. And the kids didn't want to be there, probably because the parents didn't want to be there. Probably because nobody really wants to be there. That's okay. And the kids would freak out. The kids would have crying fits if they had to wait. Sometimes they had to wait far longer than we ever wanted them to. And it's boring there, right? Like, oh, it's boring. So they'd freak out and they'd cry. And I would be sitting upstairs in my room around the corner from the door, or I'd be teaching a workshop, or I'd be helping someone in a one-on-one consultation, whatever it is. And I would be like, why can't somebody do something about that? Why can't someone else that works here who's down there just go do something? And I realized, oh my gosh, I'm somebody. So there were plenty of times where I would run down the stairs, go into the lobby to try and help take the kids some candy, some chocolate, a sucker, say hi, play little games with them, whatever it is. I remember one incident where I was walking across this open lobby area, and I looked down and there's a kid playing with the handicap button on the doors that you press and it opens up the doors. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that kid's gonna like pinch his fingers or something. And I continued walking by, and all of a sudden I hear a scream. I thought, oh man, this kid pinched his fingers. So I ran all the way downstairs. I was the first person to the door to hit the button and open it up and get the kid's fingers out. And he pinched like 3 fingers. It wasn't bad. It was just it hurt, I'm sure. And I sat down, with the kid, walked him over to the table. The mom finally paid attention, was like, oh my gosh, what did he do? Like she was mad. I'm like, oh, he hurt his fingers, right? So let's sit down. And then I'm looking around and I'm like, it'd be great if somebody could, okay, I'm somebody. I'm going to go get some ice for this kid. So I had to run around, find a plastic bag from somebody. I think it was like a grocery bag or something from someone. Go over in the back, get some ice, come on out and sit down and help hold this kid's fingers and have him stop crying. No one else had gotten up to do anything. Either they weren't aware, they were busy, or they didn't care. I mean, it doesn't matter really. Funny thing, the security guard came over like after 3 minutes and is all like, from like 12 feet away, he's all like, did that kid hurt his fingers? Yeah, that kid hurt his fingers, right? Where were you? Oh, we need to fill out an incident report. Great. No one else could get some ice? It's all right. I did it because I was somebody. There was a need. Maybe everyone else was busy, but I did it. So I tried to do that, and I found myself doing it all the time. Like if I was out of paper and I had to go get, like a huge box of, hundreds of sheets of paper or something like that, I would grab 2 boxes, one for our printer and one for the printer down the hall. Try to find little ways to go above and beyond what is the minimum expectation. Because it's really easy for all of us to do the minimum, because it just is. This started to bleed over into my personal life. So about the same time, I was going out to the park or walking down to somebody's house here in the neighborhood. I live in Eagle Mountain, Utah. There's an awesome park across the street. And there's this tree on the corner of this park that overhangs some intersecting sidewalks, and the branches are really low, and I have to duck and almost get poked in the eye with the branches. And I was like, somebody needs to trim this tree. Who is not doing their job? Who can I get in trouble so they will do their job and we will have a trimmed tree? Wow, I'm somebody too. And I live across the street, and I've got a saw, and I could trim the limbs off. So I did. The funny thing is that years passed, and then the tree branches got a little bit lower. and they were poking me in the eye again. And I was frustrated just the same way. And I totally forgotten that I had trimmed that tree years ago. And again, I thought somebody needs to trim this tree. Well, then I suddenly remembered, wait a minute, I trimmed that tree. That's been like 3 years ago or something. I don't think anyone's trimmed that tree since. Okay, I'm going to trim that tree again. And it was around the same time people were posting on social media, whose job is it to take care of this tree? And it took a while for me to remember that I had done it before, so I might as well do it again, right? So it took me like 3 weeks to trim this tree because I kept filling my trash can up with branches like crazy, trimming it. But I did it and I got it done and I felt great. In fact, the other day I was walking back from church, walking on the same sidewalk, and I went, oh my gosh, this tree looks really nice. That's really nice to walk under. Oh man, it looks beautiful. It looks prettier than it did before. Yes, I had people in all of these circumstances who would say, thank you, Todd. When I was trimming the tree, people were driving down the road and saying, hey, I'm going to nominate you for Man of the Year. They just really appreciated the extra service that I was giving. And I didn't do it to get that service. I really didn't. I did it so I could stop poking me in the eye. I did it so the kid could stop screaming. I did it so that we would have the supplies, I did it just to be nice. The point is that you will feel more positive in your environment when you do this, when you realize I am somebody and I can do something. Yes, people are going to recognize you, and you can start to build a brand of helpfulness. You can do it intentionally if you want to receive that praise, but I would do it without expecting anything in return. Just do it because you are a human being and you have the capacity or ability to do something extra. So I've put you on the hook, just like myself. Anytime you say, somebody needs to do something, turn that finger around to yourself and go, oh my gosh, I'm somebody. What can I do in this situation? And maybe there's times where you're powerless and you can't do anything. That's okay. But if you can do something, I would encourage you to do it. And don't just do it like halfway. Do it all the way. Do it really well. You'll be happier. You'll provide service to other people, and other people will remember you. You'll be graciously remembered for giving of yourself. So that's my tip. That's my feedback. Anyways, if you like this, I appreciate a like, ding, or a comment or a share to share my messages out to as many people as possible. In addition, if you haven't seen it, hey, I've got this ebook. This is a paper book. I will send you the ebook version of this affirmation. I am the ideal candidate, to help with your mindset for any career transition. If you're out of work and feel bummed and you don't know what to do and how to be successful, if you're stuck in a job that you're not happy and you're terrified of moving out, send me an email to bowerlyconsulting@gmail.com. I will send you a copy of this affirmation. Read it for 30 days. It's totally going to revolutionize your mindset and help you out with that transition. All right? Take care, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye.